Hi, my name is Jake Thomas, and I'm giving a persuasive speech for Hutchinson Community College. Hi, my name is Jake Thomas, and today I'll be giving my last speech on why you should drive a Jeep. And this will be my last installment, and there's many reasons I can think of why you should drive a Jeep, but I've limited it down to 4 main reasons. Now, first, it's very handy in unfavorable weather conditions. Second, you'll have some of the best times ever you can ever imagine in a Jeep, and I'll get into that. Number 3, not gonna lie, it's a straight chick magnet. And number 4, it's highly customizable and highly convertible. Now, before I get into these 4 main points, I would just like to say that I came over a quote on Jeeps.com, and this lady said that when she dies, she hopes to be buried in a Jeep because it's never been stopped from getting out of a hole she's ever gotten to. And that leads me perfectly into my first point, that Jeeps are great in unfavorable weather conditions. And I guess I'll just give you a little example here. 2 years ago, coming home from Christmas break, I'm ready to see my mom, get free stuff, free food, free everything. Coming home, make it to about Salina. The worst blizzard in about 30 years starts coming down. Before long, visibility is actually 0. All these cars are pulling over, putting on their flashers, and I see them leaning back in the back seat like this, like, oh my God, what's gonna happen next? But not me, because I had a Jeep. So baby, I just kicked it into 4-wheel drive, and I just kept boating down the road, going about 40. All these other cars are pulling over. I mean, if you had a Saturn, a Buick, Chevy, you were just out of luck. But, I had a Jeep. So I made it home to Mama in enough time to get my peanut butter cookies. So that's just one reason. And also, if you happen to wind up in a ditch somewhere, like I have many times, and don't tell me none of you have ever not ended up in a ditch before. If you have a normal car, like say just a front-wheel drive Taurus, which that happened to me once too, where I slid off the dirt road into a ditch and I was stuck and I had to call a tow truck. Well, when I've done that in a Jeep, I just pop in 4-wheel drive and I back right out. So there's another advantage. And that brings me to my second point. You'll have some of the funnest times of your life. And I got many examples of these. I'll just start with me and my buddies. 4 of them had huge trucks, I'm talking monster trucks, and I had a little Jeep. And we went out to the fire trails, which is just trails they carve into fields in order to keep the fire from spreading from one field to another. They're really narrow, and they get really muddy because nobody ever drives on them. So we all went out there, and it's by the Highlands here in Hutch. My buddy had a truck, my other buddies had a truck, and one of them had a Blazer, I think. Well, we went out there, ended up, they all got stuck except for me. I got a shorter wheelbase, and it's hard for me to get stuck, so I just blast through there going 50. And I had to pull every one of them out, my little Jeep, and none of them bagged on me after that for having a Jeep, because I saved all their butts from being late to basketball practice. So that's another great reason for having a Jeep. Also, I'd like to say I've taken it to Winoka, Oklahoma on sand dunes. If you haven't done that, jumping to sand dunes is pretty fun, not gonna lie. I've taken it to Colorado, and you can get access to some of the places that you just simply couldn't get access to in a regular car. You can see some pretty insane things. So that wraps up my second reason. Moving on to number 3, it's a chick magnet. I can't tell me how many times I've been at a stoplight. Chicks just keep looking over, snickering, bickering, just looking at me in the Jeep. I don't know if they're talking about me or the Jeep, but I'll take it because they're talking about one of us. But I'm not gonna lie, almost all my relationships, or not all, but many of them have started with people being like, dude, your Jeep's so sweet, man, we need to take it out. Or chicks like, hey, can I ride in your Jeep? And yeah, that works too. So that's a definite advantage of having a Jeep. And lastly would be that it's highly customizable and highly convertible. By this, I just mean there's a variety of parts you can put on it, anywhere from tops, tires, lift kits, Nerf bars, engine components, anything you can pretty much think of. You can make a Jeep however you want it. And convertible by means that you can take the top off, the doors off, you can take the mirrors off if you want to, you can fold the windshield down, although I don't recommend it because you'll get hit with a bug going at 40 miles an hour and it feels like a bullet, so I wouldn't recommend that at all, but it's really fun, especially in the summer when you can take the top off. So if any of y'all get a chance to at least check out a Jeep, I'd highly recommend it. I hope I persuaded you into at least checking one out, or maybe even driving one. If you get a chance to tag along with one of your buddies one, I would do so. Thank you for coming, and that's my last speech.